up? It's Grace, and right now I'm going to be doing a very exciting video, and that is the Booklover Survival Tag. This tag was created by the people over at Penguin Random House, and they are also sponsoring this video, so a big thank you to them. What inspired this tag is the new release of A Map for Wrecked Girls by Jessica Taylor. In this book, we are following two sisters. They are extremely close. They've been inseparable ever since they were born, and one of the sisters in particular, Henry, has a very loud personality. She's always the one to make the decisions, and Emma, I believe the younger sister, kind of just always follows her, admires her sister, wants to be like her, so she'll follow whatever decision she makes. In following Henry, they end up stranded on this desert island, and the only person with them is this boy, and his name is Alex. And something happens on this island to kind of make these sisters question their relationship. And I think that Emma, the younger sister, really begins to question why she's always followed her older sister and never made decisions on her own, because obviously Henry has put them in this place on this desert island. But I don't know, I think it's just a great survival story. If anything has a great sister relationship, I'm all for it. I'll read you some of the reviews on the back, one specifically because I'm actually reading Caravel by this author, by Stephanie Garber, and she said about this book: emotionally eviscerating, a gripping examination of the barbed wire bonds between sisters that cut, protect, and don't let go. Prepare to feel. So the premise of this book tag is, if you were stranded on a desert island, what books would you bring with you? And you can bring up to 5 or 8. I will start off by saying that I am not going to mention my favorite books, which are The Mortal Instruments, Harry Potter, and The Book Thief, just because I talk about them a lot, and obviously they're just a staple in my life. I will probably have them with me no matter what. So, you know, going off on other books that I still talk about, but not as much, these are going to be them. So let's go ahead and get right on into those. She cute. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to choose, I wanted to pick a happy and fluffy light read, because if I'm stranded on a desert island, odds are I am not too happy about it, and I don't want to be there, so I want to be somewhere nice, fluffy, and happy. And for me, the book that is the definition of light and fluffy, and that is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I do talk about this trilogy a lot, but that is because it just holds a really special place in my heart. I admire Laura Jean so much. She's a character in a book that I always go back to, I always think about. I just love her characteristics, and I love her family. It's just everything all around. Laura Jean is the best, and I would definitely want her to be my paper companion on this desert island. Also, this book describes really yummy cakes and cupcakes, and I'm not going to be eating them on a desert island, so might as well read about them. The next book that I would love to bring with me on a desert island is Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. I love the Shatter Me trilogy, but I would definitely pick this book over it just because it's so magical, and I think in reading this book, you're gonna definitely see, no matter how many times you read it, something that you missed the last time. This is a middle grade novel, but I think it is profound and amazing, and I cannot wait for like my niece or nephew to read this when they get old enough to read it. This is an adventure story, and the writing is so magical and whimsical. I adore Tahereh Mafi's writing style. I love the main character, Alice. She is the most sassy, dramatic character I've ever read about. She's just hilarious, and I love her. If you didn't know what this book is about, it follows Alice, and she lives in this little town called Queen's Meadow, and everyone in this town kind of has a talent, and Alice thinks she has hers, but come to find out that she doesn't. Her father has been missing for a very long time, and something happens to where she just sets off on an adventure to go find him, and she has to travel to Furthermore, and in doing this she wants to find her. And also, everyone in Furthermore is very colorful, and she is colorless, and that makes her extremely unique. She just does not know that yet, and I just love this premise because she's different from everybody. I mean, everyone's different from everybody, but especially her, because she's colorless in a colorful world, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. The next book I would bring with me is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've read this book only once, and I've been wanting to reread it, so I would definitely take this with me. This book does start off really slow. It's very descriptive with the atmosphere and everything, but I think that's what makes it unique. I love Bilbo Baggins. He is someone that I relate with, in a sense that he just likes to be in one spot and not really go on adventures or anything. Maybe he just likes to read about them more, or he likes the idea of them, but you know, he's just gonna stay in his little hobbit hole and chill. I relate with that. But you know, sometimes we need to just go out of our comfort zone and, you know, find something that we like in a place we didn't think we'd find. And that is why I would bring The Hobbit with me. The next book that I would bring with me is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Kurt Vonnegut is wild. His writing styles are so odd and his stories are a little confusing, but once you kind of figure it out, they are like, you just sit there and you're like, wow. I question everything. I've read this book again only once, and this is a book that every single time you read it, you're gonna perceive it differently. If you didn't know, this is an anti-war novel centering around the firebombing of Dresden, but it's also like, it's hard to explain because of like magical realism. I don't want to say this book is sci-fi because I don't believe it is, but there's like aliens, but it's not like, it's very hard to explain. I don't even know, and I've read it. And that's why I want to bring it with me so I could reread it and, you know, discover more about it and see what I missed last time and I love his writing. So many quotes. I've tabbed this book. I love it, and I do want to read more of Kurt Vonnegut. And the last book that I would bring with me is also one of my favorite series, and I talk about it way too much, but I just never get tired of talking about it. I'm always tempted to just always drop what I'm reading at the time and just start rereading this one, because it's like, you know those books where you just pick them up and you start reading them and you're just like, I'm home? That is this series for me. I think that every single character in this book reminds me of someone in my life, and I think that's why I connect so well with it. I love that these characters are not one-dimensional. They have so many dimensions to them, and no character is ever just wholly good. There's always, they're just human, and this book is so magical and real at the same time, and I love it so much. My favorite characters, I don't even know, but I really love Ronan, Gansey, Blue, Persephone. I love them all. I love them all equally in just different ways. So those are all the books that I'd bring with me if I were to be stranded on a desert island. I pray that never happens, because that just does not sound like a fun time for me. I'm curious as to know what books you would bring with you and if we share any of the same ones. And again, a big thank you to Penguin Teen for sponsoring this video, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one.